You all are in for one hell of a quest. I think you're really gonna enjoy this. No, no, no! Get wrecked. In order to start this quest, you're already going to have done a few quests. Those quests are Vampire Slayer. I hope you all have done that by now, if you're doing this quest. And then in addition to that, you'll need to have finished A Taste of Hope, which by extension means you have also completed Darkness of Hollowvale, In Aid of the Myric, In Search of the Myric, Nature Spirit, Priest in Peril, and The Restless Ghost. The requirements you're going to need for this quest are 62 woodcutting, 60 fletching, 56 crafting, 52 agility, 50 attack, 50 slayer, and 49 magic. Don't worry, there's no runecrafting requirements, so you should be fine. You'll need a few items for this quest, but not that many. You may want to bring some gold with you. You can buy beers from the pub for 99 gold apiece. They're not necessary. There's also, if you need an extra Evundus flail, they cost 20k gold from Vertita. You can also take the boat to Slep for 10k. That saves you a little bit of time, perhaps, if you don't have another way to get to Slep. You'll need about 3,000 gold to buy a Firewatch outfit if you don't already have one. And then if you die later during the final boss, it costs 50k gold to recover your items, so you might want to have a little bit of extra cash just in case you die. You'll also need a hammer, any kind of wood-cutting axe, the Evundus flail, a cut ruby, a knife, a chisel, some way to do a ruby or level 3 enchant, so that's either a cosmic rune and 5 fire runes, or the tablet, the enchant ruby tablet. You'll also need an antidote or anti-poison of some sort. I suggest just getting an antidote plus. It's used for one of the boss battles and it'll last through the entire fight. And then just a couple items you're going to want throughout this quest, although they aren't strictly necessarily needed, are good food such as anglerfish or sharks, prayer potions or super restore potions, stamina potions, super combat, your best defensive weapon and armor. Throughout this quest, I got away with going with God D'hide, but I am also almost max combat, so you're going to want probably at least God D'hide, if not better. You can also get the Firewatch outfit before starting the quest. You're going to need it in the quest, so you might as well get it before you start the quest, or you can get it during. Either way, you'll need the Firewatch outfit. You should also bring your dragon pick when you go into Mire Ditch. When you get sent to the mines, it really speeds up the speed at which you mine the Dayalt ore, and which you can continue along with the quest since you need 15 of those. You should also bring Graceful when you're not fighting a boss. It'll save you a lot of run energy. A couple other things that are nice to have are the Ectophile for quick access into and out of Port Phasmatis, which is close to a couple other quest locations. Drakan's Medallion, which gets you into the Theater of Blood area, which is really close to Slep, and is also upgraded at the end of the quest, as well as tablets to teleport to your house, so that if you have a fountain there or a pool, you can go there and so that you can go there and restore all your stats and prayer and hit points. It's also super helpful to have the Mauritania legs 3 or 4 from the diaries. These give you unlimited amount of teleports to Berg Darat every day, and you'll be going potentially to and from Berg Darat many times during this quest. So I highly recommend you have either the hard or elite Mauritania diary done so that you have the legs. To start the quest, go to Slep, which is south of Port Phasmatis and north of the Theater of Blood. You'll find there Veliath outside of the church in this little graveyard. Speak with him to start the quest. Go through his dialogue options and it'll confirm that you want to start the quest. Sins of the Father. Once you're done talking to Veliath, head into the church that's right next to him. Talk to this guy, Hamelin the Jester, inside the church and ask him about how his partner got sick, who's the latest case of the sleeping fever. And he'll tell you that he got sick after drinking a beer in the pub, which is just to the southeast. Go through the rest of the dialogue with him. When you're done speaking with the jester, run to the pub, which is just southeast of the church. Start questioning Carl about where he gets the Bloody Bracer beer from. Continue along that line of questioning. Once you finish this successfully, the barrel behind the pub should give you an option to inspect it. Go behind the pub where that barrel is, use the inspect option, and it'll start a cutscene. Once the cutscene finishes, you're now basically on a follow quest. You have to follow Carl around, and he'll turn around every once in a while to see if anybody's there, but they're all in predetermined locations. So this first one, just hide behind the building on your east side until he turns around again, and then it's safe to continue following him. If you let him get too far out of your sight, it'll fail the mission and you have to start over. Continue following him and you can hide behind the door north of the church. He'll turn around again and continue heading west. Keep following him, and then you're going to be hiding behind one of the trees up here. Just hide behind this tree right here. He'll turn around again. Keep following him. He'll start to go around town to the south. You can hide behind this tree. He'll start to go through the public square to the east. Continue running after him. If you happen to end up in front of him, he'll spot you too, and that will also cause a fail state. Hide behind this tree right here. Lament for the Hallowed. He'll go through the graveyard. Just run north of him so he doesn't spot you when he turns around. Continue running through. Just make sure he doesn't spot you here, and he'll enter into this little mausoleum area, and then you'll be triggered into another cutscene. Go through this cutscene. At the end of the cutscene, you'll end up in a fight with this guy named Kroy. He's a relatively easy boss, and you should have no problem to fight him. For this fight, I would make sure you have your Evandis flail with you, which is a perfectly fine weapon. He is a vampire type, so it should be especially effective. All I did was pray mage. Make sure you have a little bit of food with you. Once in a while, he'll throw this blood vial at you, like this. The blood vial will weaken you if it hits you, and it'll also leave behind a red pool, which if you stay on it, it'll also weaken you. His attacks alternate between mage and melee, but praying mage is recommended because his melee attacks are fairly weak. As you can see there, he threw another red vial, but once you can see it go out, it is a fairly slow throw, so you should have enough time to dodge it and move out of the way. Finish this fight and kill him off. Once you've defeated him, you'll need to smash 2 tables that are inside of this workshop. Make sure that both tables are smashed, and then you'll be able to exit. Once done, return to Veliath in the graveyard. Upon exiting, Veliaf is directly north of you. Have a conversation with him. When you finish your conversation with him, you'll have to head to Drezel, who's on the Paterdomus River. The easy way to get there is to go to your house and use a fairy ring if you have it. Using the code CKS will bring you very close to that entrance, or any other way you can get to a fairy ring. Another option would be using a Slayer ring, which could put you very close to that entrance. Once you get to the River Salve, you'll need to head inside and talk to Drezel and Veliaf. When you're done having the conversation with them, you'll need to go south of Finkenstrain's castle and speak to Ivan there, and there'll be another cutscene. An easy way to get back to Finkenstrain's castle is use the ectofile and run west. You'll find Ivan there. He's very easy to spot because he's in red. Talk to him, and then after that conversation, you'll have the cutscene and go through that entire cutscene. In the next part of the quest, you'll be doing another temple trek with Ivan as your escort, and it will basically be a hard escort mission. For this part of the quest, you should bring your axe, your hammer if you need it, decent armor. This is temple trekking, so any kind of temple trekking gear you would normally bring, good food and food that you can give to Ivan. Anglerfish you are able to give to Ivan. That's what I would recommend bringing if you can. You can also bring a knife, although you can get a knife when you get into the temple trekking area, as well as an axe, so you don't need to bring it. I would also, at this point, bring a super combat potion, a prayer potion. Although, different from normal temple trekking, you don't need a snelm, and you don't need your druid pouch because you don't encounter those in this particular temple trek. Once you're ready and geared for combat, go back to the River Salve, talk to Ivan, and you'll begin the encounters. The first encounter is the Vine Rope Bridge one. This is fairly easy. All you need to do is cut 3 of the vines and use them on each other to make a rope. If you didn't bring the knife, you can just search the backpack that'll be over here and you'll get a knife. You can use that to cut 3 of the ropes off, or the vines. Use them to make a rope, and then use that on the tree to swing yourself over. That's the end of this encounter. Let's get our angler back. He's only level 63. That's him. The second encounter is fighting nail beasts. There will be 3 of them, and they'll attack both you and Ivan. One method to prevent them from attacking Ivan is to spam click all of them so that they won't attack him. They're both fairly easy to kill, so just kill these, protect from melee to prevent yourself from taking any damage, and use food on Ivan when necessary to prevent him from dying. During the third encounter, you'll have to fix a bridge. There'll be a zombie here you can kill to get an axe if you didn't bring one. Once you have that axe, use it to chop down the 3 trees, and then those will be able to repair the bridge. Chop, chop, chop. Then investigate the bridge and use the repair option. You'll have to click on that 3 separate times to repair it in each of 3 separate stages. Once the bridge has been finished repairing, you're done with this stage and you can move on to the 4th encounter. During our 4th encounter, we'll encounter 2 vampire juvenates, or whatever they are, and they'll attack Ivan. Ivan, if you're not careful, they're both level 119. One way that you can get aggro from both of the vampires so that they don't attack Ivan is spam clicking the vampire on the right so that you'll stand in front of Ivan right at the start of the fight. That's one method. You can also give Ivan food by clicking use on the food and then clicking on Ivan, and that's what I did. To protect yourself from any damage, pray melee and attack the vampires. The Evandis Flail is a great weapon for this. and they'll turn to dust before they die. Once both are dead, you can continue on, and that's the last encounter. After that encounter, the temple trek is over, and you'll end up in Burg de Rot. You'll have a short conversation with Ivan, and then once you're done with that, head south to the boat dock where you'll both meet him and Valyef, and then you'll be able to continue on. So have another conversation with him at the boat docks. You'll end up going to Iceen, and once you get there, there'll be a long series of conversations that you need to go through between both Safalaan and Valyef, and then Venescula the vampire will come in and talk to you and the rest of the Mire. So go through all that dialogue. Once finished with all the conversations, you'll be given the task of opening the door to the mausoleum. That is the one just to your north from Venescula that has the little square on the door and the giant Ceradoman symbol. This is a puzzle where the horizontal and vertical columns, or the rows and columns, need to add up to the numbers. And this puzzle will be different for everyone. Now, how the puzzle basically works is that the values going from left to right on the rows have an increasing value of 1 to 5. And then same thing with the vertical columns. From top to bottom, they have an increasing value of 1 to 5. And whichever ones are starred, that adds value. So you can see while I'm toggling this, that is a 5 value for the 10, but it is a 1 value for the 4, because it is in the 5th row, but it's in the first column. So it's an addition puzzle that you need to make sure all the numbers add up. I was lucky in mine that I had a 15, which 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 equals 15. So all the boxes in that row had to be stars in order for it to get set up. The flags are there for your own use, and the flags don't have any effect on the value. That's more just if you want to keep track of things. What I would recommend is getting the smaller values if possible, and then going up to the higher values. So I started at the high value in my puzzle, but you can notice that the bottom value of 1, there's only one number that you could check that would make that a 1. It would have to be the 1 row, because anything over that would add up to more than 1. So that one would be eliminated. You could eliminate the 15 by adding up all the numbers in the row, which has to equal 15. And then kind of use that process of elimination to get all of the results. It can be a little tedious, but just keep a cool head about it. Use logic. Use your flags for ones you think might work, and then start out with the numbers that you know are absolutely correct, and the small numbers, and work your way up from there. Just because you can't, with the 5, you'd go over. With this 5, it has to be the 1. This guy is filled, so it can't be this. So the 7 is 4, 3. This has to be 5, and that has to be 1. Once you finish the puzzle and solve it successfully, it'll go into a cutscene. You'll enter the mausoleum with Safalaan and the vampire. Go through all this conversation. Safalaan will decide to take teams with Venescula and basically team up with her. But then you'll have to talk to all the other members of the Mire and get their backing, or see if you can get them to help you. So you'll need to go around and talk to Ivan, Valyef, Kale, Vertida, Pulmafi, and Radagad. And you may have to talk to them again. So it needs it in a specific order. You need to talk to all the members and confirm they will help, and then talk to Valyef. who will begrudgingly agree to help you. So you need to check in the quest log. I didn't do it in the exact order that the wiki has it in, but basically talk to everyone else first, get them to agree to help, double check it in the quest log, and then go talk to Veliath. Thanks for Tita. Let's talk to Ivan. Let's go for it. Once and for all. Hell yeah. Good to see you. For NDS and everyone else who suffered because of him. Everyone else in Veliath is out. Here, for example, even though I talked to everyone, it still said I didn't have Polmafi's help and Veliath's help, so I had to go back to Polmafi to get him to help, then to Veliath. Perhaps our best move now is to spring that trap. More? The answer is still no. You know, all the others have agreed to the plan. It's just you. You're the only holdout. Once you get Veliath to agree to help you and you've talked to everyone else, you'll go into another brief dialogue conversation that you need to go through. Once you finish this conversation, you need to go to Meyerditch and then get yourself sent to the mine. You can just talk to any Firewatch that's flying, or have them notice you and they'll come down and ask you for a tithe or to go to the mine. This is where having a dragon pick or rune pickaxe really helps up the speed with which you mine the essence. There is a pickaxe there if you didn't bring it, but this will just make it go a lot faster. So, dump all of your essence in. You need to have 15, fill it up. Once it's in your inventory, put it in the mine cart, and then talk to a Firewatch, and they will let you out. You'll emerge from the hole in the north part of Meyerditch, and then you can follow this path all the way over to the Hamalchemy lab. It's the location that has the ladder on it, and it's really easy to find because you can also look at the giant gold slashed banner in one of the houses, and you'll be able to find it that way. Go through that banner and go down the ladder to find Safalaan. Finish talking with Safalaan and you won't actually need to go through the door to the south. It'll do it automatically for you. Once you go through, he'll freak out and kill one of these mutated Bloodvelds, and then the other mutated Bloodveld you'll have to kill. To prey melee, kill it. It's a very easy thing to kill, and you can avoid any damage taken that way. We found out what the 50 Slayer is for. Once you finish killing the Bloodveld, talk to Safalaan again, and then you'll have to go find a book. Head into the west room directly to the west of you with all the mutated Bloodvelds and search the bookshelf. When you search the bookshelf, you'll find a second book on Hamalchemy. Bring this book back to Safalaan. Once you bring it to Safalaan, you need to return to Ice'in. A quick way to get there is to use the Berg de Rot teleport from the Mortania legs, and then just go back to the boat dock. Him and the others will be there talking. Finish the conversation and dialogue with them. At this point, you need to make your disguise, so grab your Firewatch outfit, which consists of the boots, legs, and top, or bring a few thousand gold. I think it's about 3,000 gold or less, and then bring that into Meyerditch with you. In this case, I already had my outfit, but bring some gold if you don't have your outfit. Once you're in Meyerditch, go down the broken boards, jump over this hole in the wall, and if you don't already have the Firewatch outfit, you need to go talk to the trader who lives in one of these houses that's right near the bottom. It's this guy right here, and then you can trade him, Trader Sven, and buy the Firewatch outfit from him. Go into Old Man Ral's house and go down the ladder to the Meyer hideout. Talk to Polmafi with the Firewatch outfit in your inventory. He'll take it from you and then upgrade it so that it'll be the noble Firewatch outfit and it'll change looks. Once you're done with that, you need to go back to... You're still unable to wear it at this point though, so once he gives you the outfit back, go back to the Ice'in graveyard and talk to Venescula. Venescula will now tell you that you need to smell like a vampire, so you need to get the blood of a vampire noble on your new robes. From here, go to Slep and speak with Veliath Hertz, who will be west of the church there. Red vial. Could be coincidence, but the red vials that these witch doctors have look very similar. When going to Slep, you're going to need to fight Damien. For this, you'll need your antidote plus or whatever other method you're using for your anti-poison, whether it be a serpentine or an anti-venom or a regular anti-poison. You're going to need some melee equipment. This boss wasn't particularly tough, but I would bring your best melee gear, your best offensive melee gear. Once you're in the fight, you'll be praying mage, as I'm doing here. He attacks you with darts. And then he'll also summon these little fires that you need to stomp out. The fires make him more immune to your attacks. You'll still be able to damage him even if the fire isn't extinguished, but it's very quick to just stomp the fires out, and then you can continue to attack him. Make sure you have a super combat, some food, a prayer potion, and an emergency teleport when you go into this fight. Overall, he's very easy though. Kill him, and then when the fight is done, make sure to speak to Veliath and finish the dialogue with him before you leave. Go back to Icy-Een, talk to Venescula or Veliath or Safalaan, and now that you have your completed outfit, you'll be going into Mire Ditch and then into Darkmeyer. So what you need to do is go to Mire Ditch, ask one of the Firewatch to send you to the mines by talking to it or by getting spotted. And now that you have the noble outfit, you should be able to just talk to the Firewatch in the mine and be escorted out without having to mine the essence. If not, you can just mine the 15 essence, put it in the mine cart, and then get out the normal way you'd be able to if you want to do that as well. As you're going into Darkmeyer, you'll need to have a couple items. Make sure that you have your axe with you so that you can chop the wood that you need. Bring a teleport out, particularly the Mauritania Legs 3 or 4, or the Ectophile or Drakan's Medallion, something to get you back into Mauritania easily. You'll need your Noble Disguise and 8 free inventory spaces, or spaces you don't mind losing the inventory from. I just want to point out you can pet this tiny little blood-filled pet. Once you're inside, you're going to want to run all the way around the city. You can get, if you just go counterclockwise, you'll go all the way around, and you're looking for the Arboretum, which is a giant building with a big tree symbol in it. Should be very easy to spot, and the city will kind of naturally progress you there as you run all the way around. When you get there, try to go in the building and you'll be stopped by this guard, Desdemonis, or whatever his name is. Point is, he won't let you in unless you do him a favor, which is getting someone to return his blood ties that he paid for, basically. So you'll need to go back almost all the way to where you started in the city. So go back around the city, but it's all the way to the east where you had started out. And you're looking for a guy named Morden Nakazi, who is a slave dealer, basically. Once you find him, have a conversation with him, and once you go through all the dialogue, he'll basically say that he already had sold them to another noble, and they're in a prison on the north side of the Arboretum. So you'll need to run to the north side of the city where the prison is. It should be fairly easy to spot. It's a celled building with 3 people inside it, and it's the only building basically with humans. Once you're inside the prison, have a conversation with the people inside. Just talk to them and you'll have a brief dialogue, but then the Firewatch will stop you and basically say you're causing a ruckus, at which point there'll be another cutscene where Vanstrom Klause comes in, and just go through all that cutscene and dialogue. At the end of the cutscene, Advance from Klause will say that the slaves need to be returned to their rightful owner, who is the Desdemodus guy at the Arboretum. So continue counterclockwise, it'll just be south of where that prison was. Try to enter into the Arboretum again, and Desdemodus will stop you. You can say that you got his slaves back, at which point he'll let you into the Arboretum. Run inside and you'll find that the tree's too hard to cut by itself, so search this fallen bookshelf and you'll find a note. In the note, it'll tell you that there's a certain amount of water that will make the tree cuttable. There's a northern valve and a southern valve, and each valve will have a different amount of water, and this is different for each player. But basically the idea is just that the amount of water needs to add up between the two valves to whatever is specified on the note. So this is another fairly easy math puzzle. Here's the one I had. It specifies that the northern one gives 7 gallons of water per interval. The southern one gives 4 gallons of water per interval. And for the tree to be healthy, it needs 37 gallons. So in my case, it was like, okay, you just kind of brute force it and see what works. If I have a 7-gallon tube, I could do 7, but then 30 isn't divisible by 4. I could do 14, but then I'm left with an odd number not divisible by 4. Or I could do 21. 37 minus 21 is 16, which is divisible by 4. So I need 3 7s and 4 4s, which will give me that 16. So once you have the note, run south to these pipes. When you click on the pipe, it'll allow you to have a setting. So for the one that was my 7-gallon, I set it to 3 for 21 gallons, and the one that was 4 gallons, I set it to 4, so I'd have the 16, 4 times 4. Once you set those, you should be able to click on this tree and start chopping it. So click on the tree and get 8 blisterwood logs. Once you have these logs, you can teleport out and go back to Veliath or Venescula. Once you have them talk to you again, just go through their dialogue options and they'll tell you to go back to the Myrick to give them the extra blisterwood logs that you had gotten. You'll find the Myrick hiding out underneath Old Man's Ral's house. Go there once you have the wood and you finish that cutscene, and talk to Vertida, who is the guy with the bow. Finish your dialogue with him, and hand over the rest of the 7 other wood pieces that you don't need. When you're finished talking with him, search this crate for another Blessed Silver Sickle. That's the only item you need to get here if you're making the new weapon and you already have the Evandis Flail, which you should. You should also be able to buy spare Evandis Flails off Fertitta for 20,000 GP, but you don't need one of the chains out of this box. Go to a bank and pull out your ruby, your chisel, your knife. Make sure you have the wood with you, the Blessed Silver Sickle, and the Evandis Flail. Cut your ruby if it's not already cut with the chisel, and then use it on the Blessed Silver Sickle with that chisel in your inventory. Then, use the Enchant Ruby or level 3 enchant spell on the Silver Sickle to get the enchanted version. Then use the sickle on the blisterwood to get the blisterwood sickle, and use it on your Evandis Flail to get the blisterwood flail, and you'll also get that emerald sickle back. And you have the final weapon you need. At this point, now that you have the final weapon, you want to get ready for the boss fight. So here's the build I went in with. I went in with the chest plate, Nada's Knot helm, fire cape, definitely the flail, Dragon Defender, boots, whatever the best boots you can get in. My inventory consisted of all anglerfish with a couple Karambwans for combo eating, 2 super restore potions, a super combat potion, It's advised to bring a range switch, so that's why I have the blowpipe and a dehyde top and the assembler, and then an emergency teleport out. And then I would also just bring all the other best equipment you can. So I brought a torture, but if you can't have that, a fury would work. And then the Ring of Suffering or Rings of Recoil do not work on the final boss. So do not bring a Ring of Suffering, but bring something like a Brimstone Ring or a Warrior Ring or Berserker Ring. Once you're ready, go back to Icy Een, talk to Veliath, and you'll start the final battle. First, Veliath will go tell you to talk to Safalaan, who went along the trail to the north. Follow this trail up northeast, and you'll go to Safalaan. Talk to him, and go through all his dialogue options. I found this to be kind of the most emotional and one of the best dialogues in the quest. So if there's one conversation that I wouldn't skip in the entire quest, it'd be this one right here. When you're done talking to Safalaan, go back and talk to Veliath. Once you're done with that conversation, you'll basically start the final cutscene that will lead into the boss fight. You're going to get separated from most of your soldiers, and then Safalaan's going to get bounced against this red wall. Now it's just you and this guy that you have to fight. The boss is Klause, level 413. I found protecting from mage particularly effective. He has only a couple special attacks that you need to watch out for, and he is a 2-phase boss. There are 3 special attacks that he uses. He'll use one of the special attacks after every 10 basic attacks he'll do. The first one is he will say, "My pets will feast on your corpse," and after this he'll summon a tiny mutated bloodveld. He will come at you and explode if they get to you for over 40 damage. So this is what the purpose of the range switch is. Also, once the thing explodes or you kill it, there will be a little acid pool. Don't walk on it. The second special attack, he'll say "Stare into darkness," and after every 10th attack, you need to click away so that your character doesn't face Vanstrom, and that will make you avoid taking the damage. I wasn't good at this myself. Once he does that, your screen kind of goes dark, and you can be hit up to 30 damage. I think it's over 45 damage. It does quite a lot. The third special attack is he'll say, "Blood will be my strength," and then a blood orb will show up on the screen that heals him. What you can do is lure him into the blood orb. So you're supposed to run behind the blood orb, and he will follow into it, and then it will damage him, and it also will prohibit him from his attacks being as effective. If you run on the orb, you will take 30 plus damage, but the orb will be destroyed. Once you finish his first phase and get him down all the way in his health, he'll start a second phase. He'll gain 200 more hit points, and he will constantly then attack you, in addition to lightning bolts hitting the ground in a random pattern. What you need to look for is the lightning bolts hitting the ground underneath you. If you have a dark, shadowy spot, you need to move off that spot, otherwise it'll hit you for over 40 damage, and it can really kill you instantly. So what you need to do is just continue to attack him, make sure you're watching your prayer, watching your health, and avoiding the lightning. What I found was troubling for me is that once lightning was over me, I would click off that spot, but I would click onto another spot with lightning. So you need to have quick reflexes that if you click onto a spot that also had lightning, you can get off of that and not get hit. If at any time you die during this fight, you can retrieve your items for 50k from Veliath back in Icy Een. Kill Vanstrom, and then watch the cutscene that ensues. Once the cutscene is over, you'll end up back in the Myrick hideout in Meyerditch. Have a bit of a conversation with Ivan, you'll climb the tower, and quest complete. The rewards for finishing this quest are 2 quest points, access to Darkmeyer, a Tome of Experience, which it gives you 3 times 15,000 on any skill, so I dumped all that into agility. Access to Blisterwood weaponry, i.e. the Blisterwood flail. Drakan's medallion, which will give you a teleport to Darkmeyer, not just the Theater of Blood now, and it puts you right next to the Vampyre Watch that you can kill for the blood shards. And on a note, for those of you who are trying to get your music cape back, doing the quest will give you all the music tracks you need with the exception of 2, which are both in the Hallowed Sepulcher. One track unlocks when you go into the Sepulcher, the next unlocks when you actually start doing the agility training course, and then you'll have your music cape back. Thank you for watching, everyone. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun doing the stream, doing it live with all of you, and then having some of you guys run through the quest with me. I hope this guide was educational for you and that you found it useful. Please leave a like, thumbs up, whatever you want to call it, subscribe, and please share this video with other people that might be going through the quest or that would find it helpful. And I streamed this on my DLive and my Twitch when it came out. Go follow me there. That I do a lot of streaming for RuneScape and some other games as well. Thank you, and I'll catch you on the next episode of whatever it is I'm doing for RuneScape. Bye.